Well, tonight on the third chair, we have special guest Trevor Cadamus, a spectacular oil painter and acrylic painter, as well as a carpenter by trade. And we're going to ask him tonight about whether he considers and does he get the same sort of vibe from being a carpenter as much as an artist. We're going to look at some of his art. We're really excited to have Trevor Cadamus on the show tonight. Welcome to the third chair. We're here with Trevor Cadamus. Did I get that right?
Cadamus, close enough.
Cadamus. I am gonna get that right by the time we finish 2 episodes. Anyways, and you are an artist, a painter, and I also understand you do a little construction work. Remodeling, construction work. So I'm going to read a little quote here. This is from St. Francis of Assisi, and I always found this interesting. He who works with his hands is a laborer. He who works with his hands and his head is a craftsman. He who works with his hands and his head and his heart is an artist. Do you ever get the artist vibe that you do from painting when you're doing some of your carpentry or construction work?
That would be every time. I can't turn it off. It's always a part of me. I try to be as perfectionist in my craftsmanship as I am on the canvas. There's just no turning it off. It's a part of me.
Is there as much of an opportunity to sort of create, or basically, you got to cut squares and, and joints and all that?
I have helped build a few restaurants. Green Line Grill downtown is one of them.
Oh, wow.
The original end of the building, we built that. And then with the expansion, I did a bunch of murals down there.
Oh, wow.
So I do have artwork up there, and Bobby, the owner, gave me a little bit of leeway to kind of do what I needed to do, not only in the murals, but to help get the place up and running. So when it comes to trying to put my artwork and craft into my carpentry, I don't really get too many opportunities, but when I do, it turns out really nice.
Yeah, we've had some artists on the show that are metal workers and woodworkers, and where perhaps in a little more traditional sense of the word of artist, they're creating something new. But I've always felt like if you're involved in carpentry and that you're an artist at heart, to some degree.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So what mediums do you use?
I'm mainly an oil painter, but within the last 2.5 years, I've started to branch out into acrylics. The acrylics came about because of a mural project that I had to do, and it turned out better than I expected, and did a series of them, and I just felt like I needed to get better with acrylics. Mm-hmm. So now it's juggling between trying to get a painting done in 2 hours before all my paint's dry, or I can come back in 3 days and the paints are still wet. So the juggle, yeah. But I'm mainly an oil painter at heart.
Very, very good. Do you do any watercolor?
Watercolor terrifies me. It's too soft. It's, I guess, the control factor of it. One drop and it spreads, and that kind of terrifies me to where I like to paint the details and make sure that everything's where it needs to be.
Do you do rough sketches? Are you a drawer? Unlike our producer of the show, who draws horrible stickmen.
I knew I was an artist this first time I picked up a Crayola.
All right.
From that day on, I always liked to draw. Drawing was what I started in, and then I went to pen and ink, and I never really tried to paint until 2000, the year 2000.
Oh.
That was when I started to branch off into actually giving oil paints a try.
Wow.
Went and bought a basic setup, and then next thing I know, my friends are like, "Where are all these paintings coming from?" I'm like, "The garage."
One of my daughters studied art at Pikes Peak, and she had a couple of painting and courses, and before we knew it, all our house was totally covered with her work. Yeah, it could take up a lot of space pretty fast. Luckily for us, she decided that she wanted to focus on writing.
Yeah.
She can do that on her laptop without posting rough drafts everywhere. What type of themes of your paintings or for your paintings do you tend to focus on? And are you exploring any new themes?
I am a sky painter. I love the clouds. I'm originally from Michigan, so the sunsets in Michigan and the sunsets in Colorado are a little bit different.
Oh, yeah.
So once I saw my first sunset here in Colorado, I was just mesmerized. And I thought, well, if I could find a way to translate that onto a canvas, I think that would be pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And I mainly, for the longest time, all I painted was skies. And then I started branching off into oceans. And recently, in the last few months, I started doing animals. Like I showed you the bear, the panther.
Yeah, we're going to eventually show those. I was really mesmerized by them. I thought they were just fantastic.
Thank you. Like I said, I'm not an acrylic painter and I'm not an animal person painter, but I'm making strides and I'm pretty happy with the way things are turning out so far.
Well, I'm really impressed with the fact that you're willing to try new things because I think it'd be really easy to have an attitude, oh, I can't do that, or maybe for a period of time I might suck at it or something. Do you have a particular mindset for being fearless and just not caring for a while?
Well, I wouldn't say fearless, but I do have a great support group. My wife, my daughter, and my closest friends, especially my brother Bruce. He was the one I did the murals for, and he was the one that has been trying to push me into different directions. Like, I did a Native American village next to a stream with horses and teepees and people, and I don't paint horses, teepees, and people. So he really pushed me to try that, and once it turned out really nice, I thought, well, I guess I could try and expand my horizon on these things. So now, like I just showed the dragon and the vegetables and stuff like that. So I'm trying not to stay in the same category. I want to try things.
You know, sometimes that can be a real challenge because if you become successful, let's say your skyscapes became really successful and lots of people wanted to buy them, it would be really easy to say, okay, this is my thing, I'm just going to do skyscape because it's generating money, potentially at the cost of not exploring other things. Do you ever worry about that, or is that not on your radar in that sense?
I'm willing to try and push my boundaries every painting. I need to change things. Like with my carpentry, I don't do the same job. I don't think I could sit a 9-to-5 job. To be locked into a certain thing and have to do the same thing over and over again, I think I would go a little insane. I prefer the challenge. One day I could be doing painting, one day I could be doing tile, the next day I could be doing drywall. So I have a different variety, and when I'm done and I'm out and I get to do my thing. And with the painting, I really love my skies. I feel like I've gotten to a point with them that I'm very comfortable with them. I don't need to sketch them out. I just jump right into the painting. But now with the animals and the vegetables and stuff, I have to sit back. I have to think about things, how they are going to look, how they are going to fit. So I have been doing a little more sketching on that part.
Oh, okay. That sounds good, and it's good to hear you kind of explore. And frankly, it's good to hear you have a support system that kind of pokes you a little bit. Come on, you can do something. You can do, and that you listen or respond. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's totally awesome.
My best friend Dusty, he's been a huge rock for me when it comes to this whole art experience. He's been one of the people that has really been pushing me through all the years. It's just, Trev, you got to do this. You've got something there, man. You're so talented. And I'm just like, it's just a hobby. I just go painting in the garage and whatever. And so they've all really helped to push me in a direction that I need to grow. And it comes with a great support group, like you're saying.
That's awesome. We're about to go to a break, but this will be a question for you to think about for the next segment. And that is, I'd like to know about your process from the inception of idea all the way through a completed piece.
Okay.
All right, and we'll do that when we come right back. Welcome back to the third chair. I'm Peter. We're here with Trevor. Thank you for being here with us.
It's an honor. Thank you very much.
And Trevor is a painter extraordinaire. And before the break, I asked him a question about take us through the whole process from having an inspirational idea all the way through when you consider the piece done. Yeah, that's done, baby. It's done.
You know, Peter, you've never asked me this about my stick figures I do on scripts. I'm really insulted that you can't ask me about my process.
I'm afraid to know your process.
So, my process. I guess when it comes to painting skies, I like the skies that are very colorful. Mm-hmm. More the sunrises than the sunsets. So when I see a sunrise that is very bright and colorful, it really inspires me more to try and get it started and get it going. And when I start the process, I usually just jump in, like I was saying, especially with them skies, I don't have to sketch anything out. I can just jump right in. I know my mountains are going to be here, my skies are going to be there. When it comes to, say, the animal drawings and stuff like that, or the paintings, I have to draw those out because the perfectionist in me, I have to have it to where my friends are going to see it and go, whoa, man, what? So I'm not in it for the money, the fame, and the fortune. I'm basically in it just to impress my friends. And I know it's done when they're like, wow, this looks great. Then I say, okay, then I know it's finished. I did lose a friend in the last year and a half, and he was my biggest fan, but he was also my harshest critic. Uh-huh. And he would always be the one to say, I know you don't think that's done right now. I would say, oh no, it's not, I was going to work on it for a couple more hours. And he would be like, good, because I don't think that this corner looks good or anything like that. Oh, okay, yeah, I was going to fix it. And then I turn around and put it back on the easel and fix it up. So it's good to have that group of people who are not afraid to pull the punches with you.
Yeah, oh, that's for sure. Now, so you see some scenery and you're inspired. So you go into the studio and okay, I'm going to do this on, and you magically go pick out some size canvas.
I try to stay away from the big stuff unless it's a commission, because they take up a lot of time. And I feel like I keep them to about a 16 by 20, maybe a little bit bigger, but they tend to roll a little faster. And I'm not as critical about it because when the canvases get bigger, I want more details, and that's more time. And if I'm just doing it for me, yeah, I'd rather be making a sale on it. So yeah. I still do have a series of really big canvases, and I'm just waiting for the right picture to jump out, and I'm gonna do it on one of them. But I haven't found that picture yet. So that's my process of doing the paintings. I just try to keep them medium size. So
do you have painting music, like, oh, I'm going to do this tranquil scene, so I'm going to put on some Pink Floyd, or do you have a ritual in that regard?
When it comes to music, when I do listen to music, it is usually when I'm painting. Being from Michigan and being a Detroit boy, I grew up on Motown. So.
Oh really? I was going to say you grew up on Kiss.
No. Yeah. Rock City, but I'm more. I listen to a lot of Motown. That's the majority of my playlist is Motown, and then if not Motown, then I like classical. The songs are long. They just kind of flow together. And as far as like getting into the mindset, in 2000 when I first started painting, I painted for about 3 or 4 months. Just bought a setup and just jumped in. And then one day Bob Ross came on TV, and I was sitting there eating a bowl of cereal, and I thought, oh man, I haven't watched him since I was 14.
Yeah.
Maybe this will help, And within that 1.5 hour episode, it changed my style and my whole painting career, I guess you would call it, since that day. And I got off the couch, I went into the garage, and I started a new painting with what I just learned in a half hour, and it clicked. It made sense. So I do have a underlying Bob Ross style, but that was in 2000, and I've kind of taken it and kind of added my own touch to it.
I watched a lot of Bob Ross, although I was never a painter, but I always thought he was so inspiring and encouraging. Because I remember he'd finish a tree and he'd look at the camera and he'd say, like, if your tree doesn't look like this, that's okay. It's your tree.
Right. Yeah.
You just sort of left you with the idea that what you're doing is okay.
Yeah.
And way to go forward. Pretty mellow guy.
Yeah. I've fallen asleep to many of his lessons. I just watched 5 episodes at a time.
If you want to stay awake, I would put on Detroit Rock City over a Bob Ross video. Yeah.
But he would get the mindset. He gave me the mindset that I need to be like when I am painting clouds. I'm thinking, okay, wispy clouds, light, soft. Which way is my wind blowing? And if I was that cloud, where would this wind take me? And so you kind of have to take on the object that you're painting. Like when I did the tiger painting, I was just like, I wanted a feeling of stalking, of a creepy being watched. And so you kind of get yourself in that mindset of an animal while you're painting it, and it totally translates, or at least for me, onto the canvas very well.
Those 3 paintings that I saw of the tiger, the grizzly bear, and the cheetah or whatever it was, the leopard. I thought you did a really good job with the claws. Especially the grizzly bear. You really left a great impression that if these claws took a swing at you, like you're toast.
That's so glad you saw that. Yeah. Just wanted them to be out there.
Yeah, and they were out there. Yeah, ready for battle. That's for sure. Well, you mentioned Bob Ross. Are there any other painters or artists that have influenced your work?
Yes. So during the COVID break, I found Michael James Smith, and he is a very hyper-realistic painter. And I spent a lot of time watching his episodes, and he really changed the way I do details and do layering. The other one that I really find intriguing is Vladimir Vologov. He paints with heavy strokes and knives and has all this texture, and light he translates light passing through objects really well, like a flowing dress or the light coming through a tree, and it's all when you look at it up close, it's just a garble of colors, and then when you step back, the whole painting's there, and it is just absolutely incredible. I paint so where all the paintings I showed you there, if you close your eyes and touch them, there's nothing there. So I just don't know how to paint with texture. Mine all come out smooth. I'm a blender, I guess. I don't really know how to describe it, but those 3 artists are my main inspirations for my painting styles: Bob Ross, Michael James Smith, and Vladimir Vologov.
I mean, Vladimir Vologov, he sounds like a Russian MMA fighter.
I think he's that Ukrainian. Well, also Mark Margioli, he's a Western artist. His skies are incredible. His valleys are absolutely incredible. I used reference of one of his clouds for my clouds at the Green Line Grill.
Nice. Well, I'll give you a question to think about for the break, and that is, are there any styles or techniques that you haven't talked about that you've been focusing on lately, and sort of incorporating as new, if you will, to your repertoire?
Yes.
And we will talk about that when we come right back. Welcome back to the third chair. I'm Peter, and we're here with Trevor. Thank you for being here. I've really enjoyed talking with you so far. When we last left off, I talked about asking you about, tell us about some techniques or styles that you're either perfecting or perhaps adding that's new to your repertoire.
That is a good one. So
I'll make a mental note. Other questions, not good ones. This is a good one.
That's really good.
You finally reached a good one.
That's a good one. You write enough of them, eventually you
The other ones were really easy. This one is a little more challenging. So, about 7 months ago, I went to Lightspeed Creation down in Old Colorado City, and I had been following them online, and finally found the time to get down there, and they were open, and I met Nat, the tattoo artist there, and he introduced me to ChromaDepth glasses, which are, they're glasses like when we were kids with the red and blue, and when you looked at the comic book, it would make the red and blue comic book jump off the pages. Well, with these new ChromaDepth glasses, they separate all the colors in the spectrum, and you can get it to layer so that your sun is in the background and your trees are in the foreground and your mountains are in the middle and your clouds end up becoming round. But it has been a pretty good struggle. There are a few other artists that are painting with them, but it's mostly abstract. And with my skies and my realism, it's really taken my technique to a new level. I've been working extremely hard with this, and it pays off when someone comes up and looks through the glasses, and well, at first when they look at the painting, they say, wow, that's really nice, I really like it, and I tell them, we'll put the glasses on. When they put the glasses on, you see the expressions, their face lights up, and it's just this awe-inspiring
So,
moment.
on the one hand, you have oil painting or acrylic painting where you are just doing a painting to look at without the glasses. But then if you're doing that same painting for the glasses, you actually have to figure out how to paint the same thing differently.
Correct.
It's actually a whole different process,
Right.
mindset,
Right.
choice of colors, the whole works.
Correct. All of it. I've devised a system to work with the colors, because say you have a green and you put on a red, the red jumps out. But now if you put a yellow on the red, it drops it behind the green.
Oh, so you really got to know your order.
Right. And so when I'm looking at the picture, I'll paint an area, and then I'll look through the glasses to see if it's going to work or not. I'll say, oh, this one's falling back too far, I need to make it a little lighter, and it'll bring it forward. Or this one is sitting too far up, I'll make it a little darker, and it'll fall into the background.
So when you do that process, do you ever look at it and say, like, no, this isn't going to work at all? I got
a stack of canvases this tall that are no good anymore.
I need to... Now, while the paint's wet, can you usually change it enough to end up with the 3D effect?
Well, with that, it comes down to, I test the colors before I get too far in. Say I'm going in with a red on top of a purple, I'll put a little dab of the red on the purple, then look through the glasses, and it'll show me where they're sitting. and how far I need to bring it out, and try and figure out the shading in between to make the object round or sit in the right place. So it does take. It is a whole different process. Like the tiger, I thought it was just going to be really easy because it's just an orange tiger.
Just an orange tiger.
But the oranges have to vary to sit at the right levels. And like you saw, it really worked out. So
wow.
I've been really pioneering in this technique, and I'm getting a lot of rave reviews from it. And like I say, when I watch people's face light up from the wow factor on it, that really inspires me to do better.
Do you ever think you would create instruction videos, not necessarily a CD or a DVD, but instruction videos for some platform on how to do it? Because it sounds like it's really very significantly different than if you're just out to paint a tiger.
Correct. So I am currently learning how to do painting classes, and down at Lightspeed we have been in talks about getting a class together where I can come in, have everybody line up, we paint a painting, throw on the glasses, and all of a sudden you got a 3D painting.
Nice.
So it's not really about teaching a technique, it's about basically teaching color layer. Mm-hmm. So,
but not in the traditional sense.
Not in a traditional sense, because the billions of combinations, you just don't know which one's going to do what.
I'd mentioned my daughter studied some art. She did an associate's at Pikes Peak, and she had to do 2 or 3 classes just on combining the colors properly, and the shading and all that. Just seems like when you're looking basically in 2 dimensions, there's already like 1,000 things you got to keep in mind.
Correct.
Let alone let's just double that.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of backtracking in it, because once you say, oh, this looks right, and then you get a layer down and you think, oh, maybe it's not bright enough. So then you have to kind of either cover it and start over, or work with what you have on the canvas already. So it has been a challenge, and I have goofed up a lot of paintings, but I've goofed up less than I've succeeded on. So I feel rather accomplished.
Well, it sounds like you're moving along your learning curve really well.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure there was some trial and error where,
yes.
Yeah, it's like, well, maybe this idea doesn't work so good.
Well, it doesn't work with black and white, so you have to have colors in it. So I just did a series of black and whites, and it helps reset my color palette, so that, like the dragon I showed you, that's super bright, and that's because I just spent a week and a half doing nothing but black and white.
Now, are these chrome depth type glasses the same ones they hand out like when you go watch an IMAX movie that they want in 3D?
No. The ones in the theater react with the movie. The chroma-depth glasses, because if you have the movie glasses and look at the paintings, they don't do anything. But something in the chroma-depth glasses that makes the layers break down, and you have to have both eyes available to have the 3D effect happen. So you can't take a picture through your phone, which I tried because I wanted to send it to my friend. And it just comes out gray. So you have to have them physically on your face to get the 3D effect.
So were you just contemplating life when you decided, I am going to do the painting with the chroma glasses?
Well, it was more once I put them on for the first time and looked at my paintings, I realized that my technique and my style almost worked right off the bat. There was some tweaking and color combinations I had to change around, but it gave me the effect of what I see in my friends when they see my artwork. Oh. When they go, wow. I actually, for once, put the glasses on and looked at my work and went, wow.
Nice.
So that really affected me and changed the way I approached my paintings after that. I really wanted to figure them out, and I spent all this time working with them. And so now, even if the painting doesn't come with the glasses, it still will work. I'm always gonna have something to do with the chromatic glass, because I just really like the effect that it gives it. Because the paintings, it turn out really nice, but when you throw the glasses on, it's like, a bonus. You're not expecting it.
I mean, I remember looking at some abstract stuff, I think with the same glasses down at Lightspeed Creations, and that was impressive. But when I looked at some of the animals in particular, that was like really, really awesome.
Like I said, I don't paint animals or with acrylics, but it's working. I'm keeping at it. I'm keeping at it. I gotta constantly push myself.
Yeah, for sure. Well, when we come back from the break, we're going to start showing some of your artwork. Some of it will be put up on the screen by Mr. Producer, and I understand you've brought a few paintings as well. Do you have any skyscapes with you tonight?
Yes, I do.
Very good. Well, we'll look at some of those first, and we'll deal with the animals a little bit later. So we are going to go to a break. Welcome back to the third chair. I'm Peter, and we're here with Trevor. Thank you for being here and talking about your paintings and new techniques. It's really exciting stuff. We're going to show some of your work now. Some of this will be stuff we actually hold up in studio, and some of it will be off some of your social media that our producer will just put right onto the screen.
Excellent.
It's magic.
It's magic. It's magic, just like those chroma glasses.
Yeah.
So here's the first painting, and just feel free to talk about a little bit about the technique, or if there was a special message that this painting was trying to convey, or anything about it that's meaningful to you.
So this painting in particular, this was the one that actually made me realize I had a gift, a talent for skies. It was, I had started it, and then I went through a custody battle, and I didn't paint for 4 years. But when I did get back onto it, when I did start painting again, this was the first painting I finished, and it had sat on the wall for about 4 years. Just a purple background, just a purple swirl, and that was it, and nobody figured out what it was. And then one day I said, all right, I'm ready to get back to it, and I jumped back on this painting, and it is kind of like probably one of my favorites. It's one of my oldest, but it's one of my favorites just because it showed me that I can overcome whatever's thrown at me in life.
Yeah, I really love the combination of colors in this one. The yellow in the center is just really intense. I like how you work that pink into there as well, and the blue directly above it, sort of in the middle at the top. Right. Some just really awesome. And this one is an oil painting, is that
yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. And after 4 years, it finally dried.
Well, yeah, 4 years and a couple weeks, but it really made a impact on me, and this is the one I use for my Trevscapes Facebook page cover. This is my cover piece.
Nice. It's really spectacular.
And I'm pretty sure this one is at Plaza of the Rockies right now.
All right, and you think you might be moving that to a different display site?
Absolutely. It would be really hard to pry this one out of my hands, but for the right price, I would be willing to. But this one holds a lot of special meaning to me.
Sure. But do you ever see yourself perhaps doing a limited print series or some sort of prints of this one?
Absolutely. I would much rather sell the reprints than the original of this one. All the other ones I would be able to sell and not look back, but this one in particular, I would really like to keep this one in my possession for as long as possible.
It's amazing how we've had so many artists that say sort of the same thing. It's like, this was kind of my baby.
Yeah.
You know, I'm very possessive about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like maybe I'll do a print.
Yeah. But I totally want to do prints. I totally want to make it so that it would be as inexpensive as possible to have everybody be able to purchase art.
Yeah, sure.
There's no reason for it to be a $5,000 reprint unless it's really, really good. But I just don't see it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you brought some stuff here for us to look at. Why don't you grab one and start talking about it? Whichever one you want to start with.
Let's start with this little guy back here. This one is only maybe 4 months old, if that, 3 months old. It works really well with the ChromaDepth glasses, so that when you're looking at it like this, it's relatively bright, but when you put the glasses on, the trees all of a sudden come out, and the sky is in the background, and the lake is in the middle.
Oh, wow.
So this one has actually already been taken, so I just use it for this, but I'm going to be sending it out to Michigan here soon.
Nice. Do you send a pair of glasses with it?
Yes, all my paintings, I always make sure they have a pair of glasses in the back. This
Nice.
big one
I can hold it apart if you like.
was from last year,
Hold it up just a little bit more. There we go.
and my guy Robin Schneider down at Art 111 said, "Hey, you should do a big piece." So that's kind of where this came out. He said, "I want a big piece and I want it to be sky." So I knocked this one out for him in about a month.
Nice.
And
you've got some sort of body of water there.
yeah, and it takes up a lot of my studio space on my walls.
Is that supposed to be ocean or a lake?
Lake.
A lake. Nice. And you give a really nice sense of the clouds choosing a direction to be blown to. yeah.
Gotta become the clouds.
Become the clouds.
And then I did this one. This was probably only about 5 months old. This one, I wanted to kind of experiment with the darks and the lights. And just have basically this bright spot coming out of these dark surroundings.
So is that like dark thunderclouds?
Yeah. And
kind of idea?
Yeah, just they're coming in, or they could be just leaving. Sun's just setting. And this one's also in oil. You can tell the difference between my oils. They come out really soft, to where my acrylics come out really sharp.
Yes.
So this is more of my style technique. I like the high details and fine details of all the clouds.
I feel like it's got a little bit of, and correct me if I'm wrong, a little bit of Colorado sunset sort of inspiration in that.
I think this was the picture I took when I was at 11 Mile.
Oh, yeah.
So
I mean, for people who don't know, in Colorado, our sunsets tend to have not just yellow, but some oranges and even a little bit of red that I don't think you see in every sunset.
correct.
Nice.
And then being from Michigan, I have to do some water paintings. This one is also oil
So that's an oil
on a black canvas.
on a black canvas. Oh, wow. And I see the sun there. With the rays. Now, is this one for the glasses as well?
This one was the first one I looked through with the glasses. when I was introduced to him, I put the glasses on and looked at this one and realized that it jumped out. And
Oh, yeah. I think we looked at that one upstairs in our pre-production meeting. This is where the
sun streaks come out, yeah.
really come out, and yeah, I remember. Yeah, that's nice.
So
That's
this
nice.
one kind of changed everything for me. So after I saw the glasses with this one, all the rest of these work really well with them now. So this was the one that kind of was like, wow, if I can do that on this, how can I take it to the next level to make everything layer right?
You know, it's just so hard on camera to be able to show people what they see with the glasses.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's just an experience you have to have in your hands to really understand what it's about.
So that raises a question in my mind. If someone buys a print, will they still use glasses to look at it? Do you know if you can get the same effect off a print?
I should. I have talked to some photographers, and I looked at their work with the glasses on, which were just photos that they had taken with no intention of the glasses, and I looked at the reprints, and as long as the colors closely match, the glasses should work every time.
Wow, that's really interesting. You know, Mr. Producer, perhaps we need to order several thousand pairs of chroma glasses. Two Men and a Duck Entertainment chroma glasses to go out with some of the artwork.
It'll be a whole new venture for us. We create the glasses, you look at the art.
That's it.
Yeah, we're gonna have some 3D dimensional stickmen on our movie scripts.
Don't insult the stickmen. They've got character and they have feelings.
If you draw the stickmen with the right colors, they will be 3D.
Exactly.
That's right.
They'll jump off the script for our movie.
Right.
Yeah, and then we'll have talking stickmen. So when we come back, we're gonna ask you about how people can contact you. Are you taking commissions? Those kinds of things. The nuts and bolts of business, so to speak. So we'll be right back. Hi, I'm Peter from Pikes Peak Recovery Coaching, and as you know, I do help people with drug and alcohol recovery issues. I love to help people get better, but I also offer a variety of other services, including regular life coaching services. I've helped several people write and finish a book. I've helped a doctor that was in medical school graduate and then get into a residency. And I also actually have quite a background in mathematics, and I do some math tutoring for the GED as well as the ASVAB for those that are thinking about a career in the military. So my contact information is on the screen. Please send me an email or a text, and we can talk about some of these services and how I can help. That's Peter Grigg at Pikes Peak Recovery Coaching. Welcome back to the third chair. I'm Peter. We're here with Trevor. Thank you for taking the time with us tonight. And so, I know you have a regular job, at least at times, working carpentry and whatnot. But no one wants to be a starving artist. And so, I assume in one form or another you are selling some of your art. Tell us about the ways that you do that, and if you take commissions, and how people would contact you to have that discussion.
So I'm working on the reproduction aspect of everything here, and I need to make sure that I can get high quality reproductions. Like we were saying with the glasses, it really helps if the colors are closely matched because I paint them specifically with the glasses in mind. I can be reached at Trevscapes on Facebook or Trevscapes at Yahoo.
Okay.
I'm always
Yahoo.com?
Yahoo.com.
That's an email.
Yes, that's the
Alright.
email. And Trevscapes on Facebook. It's just skyscapes, landscapes, seascapes, Trevscapes on Facebook. Easy way to
Right.
remember that.
That's the way.
And I'm always taking commissions. That's what I'd rather be doing than tile or tile or painting houses.
A day without commissions is like a day without sunshine.
Right. So I will take all the commissions I can get my hands on. I always make the time.
Nice. So how would a discussion with you go? I mean, if I'm someone who's watched this episode and hey, I want a 3D tiger or whatever, they'd email you and say what they're interested in.
Yes.
And do you meet people? Do you just communicate over email or phone, or how would that interaction typically kind of go?
If they are local, I'm willing to go and meet with them. If they say they want a tiger, then I say the first thing I would ask them is, do you have a photo of the tiger that you want? Mm-hmm. No, then okay, I'll go through and make some references, and we'll make up some sketches, and then you can say, oh, I don't like the way this leg is, or maybe the head could be tilted a little more, and then we get it right, and then once we okay it, then I'll go into post-production and get everything knocked out. Acrylics take about a week and a half. Oils take about 3 to 4 weeks.
Wow.
It's just the dry time, the process of the dry time, the layering, and I'm always trying to have. I always try to have paintings on here. I have about 5 easels in my studio, and I try to have paintings going on each one of those easels at all times.
Yeah, you got projects on the go.
Yeah, always on the go. If I get inspired to want to do a tiger, then I got a tiger. If I want a sky, then I got a sky going. But I try to constantly have something that if I do get that moment of inspiration and I feel like I have to paint right now, I have choices to what I can jump into.
Is your work up at different galleries in town where people could look and potentially arrange a purchase there?
I do have stuff at Lightspeed Curations pretty much all the time, unless it's like last month with the Women Arts show. But I really, those people down there are all my friends. They are just great people, and they enjoy the eclectic collection of all the different kinds of artwork. And all I have to do is bring it in, and they're always like, yes, please, more. So I usually always have stuff at Lightspeed Curations. Right now I'm at Plaza of the Rockies, but that ends on Halloween. I've been up there for 3 months. Cottonwood Center for the Arts reaches out and contacts me whenever they have a specific show or something that has.
So that's kind of hit or miss.
Yes.
Yeah, if there's a skyscape show, then they'll ask you for some pieces, and they'd be visible then.
Mm-hmm. But now if people want animals, I can do animals too.
That's right. And did you say fruit? Oh, I saw like a hot peppers.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's like when I go to the galleries, like the ones that really stand out to me are when the people can paint an apple or a sliced orange or something, and it looks real. So that was kind of my inspiration to try something like that. But that actual painting of the pepper was from a newspaper article from about 10 years ago that I had been dragging around for 10 years, and I thought to myself, if I ever paint some vegetables, that's the one I want to paint. And the newspaper had turned yellow, and the colors had kind of faded, but I used it as a reference and thought, well, if I'm going to do anyone, this is going to be the one, and it turned out really well.
Yeah, and no, that was one that you looked at with the glasses.
Yes.
Too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The peppers kind of
curled. Yeah,
right.
That was really good. Well, that's good to know. We'll put the information up on the screen. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell notification icon so you know when we've uploaded another episode. Good night from the third chair, and we are going to have Trevor back next week.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.